Hey everybody, welcome back. Now today I'm going to be making a rich, deep, vibrant vegan ragu sauce. Now don't get that mixed up with a bolognese. It's not a bolognese. This is a Neapolitan ragu. This is the perfect plant-based vegan ragu. The first thing we need to do is we need to make up our sofrito. Now a sofrito is onion, celery and carrot. So we are just literally going to throw that straight into the trusty Xylus manual blender here. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we want to put some olive oil in the pan. Extra virgin olive oil, best quality you can get, always go for the best quality. It just transforms any dish. The better the quality olive oil, the better quality the dish is going to be. So we are now going to add that to the pan. Okay, so the next thing you want to do, you want to get some of these portobello mushrooms, these big ones here. So we're going to need the 2 of those, and we just want to pull out the knob in the middle. So pull it out. Okay, so now what we want to do is make some room. So we want to take some pine nuts here. We're just going to put some pine nuts in the middle. Okay. Then we want some dairy-free cheese. Now, if you are not vegan and you are just vegetarian, then use cheddar. Cheddar works really well with this recipe. But we're going vegan here, so we want to put some of this cheese, load it up. Okay, and just press it in. Now we've got one secret ingredient coming up. We want to use sultanas. This is what's going to make this rich and really vibrant, tangy. It really brings out the tomato. So we want to put some sultanas in this little capsule here. Okay. Right, and then the final thing we need to do is we need to put the lid on. Now that little boom burger there, that. Now what we need to do is we need to tie that up. So what I use is butcher's string. Now this can be quite hard to find. You can buy it in your butchers. If you ask your butchers, they usually give you some. I just order it on Amazon. But I use it quite a lot because I quite often make these little bombs to go in my sauces, particularly like you know, authentic ragu. So we just want to fold that. You just fold it in and flip it over, and then just tie the top. And that will be enough to keep that in there. So there we have our little flavour bomb there, and that just needs to go in the pan, so just make a little bit of space and then just drop that in there like so. Okay, just a word of warning, raisins If you do have a dog, like this one here, then raisins are deadly to dogs. So don't drop any, be careful, make sure you seal the packet up properly and put it away out of reach of the dog, where it's not gonna, you're not gonna open a cupboard, it's all gonna fall out. Just be sensible with raisins, very poisonous to dogs. The next thing I'm gonna add is 1 garlic clove. It's a big one, so I'm just gonna go with the 1, maybe go for 2, personal preference. We're going to add some alcohol, just some acidity that will start breaking down and start erupting all those flavours. Now, here's my little wine rack. Now, the better quality the wine, the better quality the ragu. Use shit wine, is going to be shit ragu. Use average wine, it's going to be average ragu. Use decent wine, you're going to have a decent ragu. Red or white, doesn't matter. Generally the white will keep the vibrancy of the red in the tomato, but then if you use a red wine, it will make the sauce a lot darker in colour. For this particular one, and for what I'm making later as well, I'm going to use a white wine. I'm going to use a Pinot Grigio here. So you just want to pour roughly about a cup of wine in there. So what we're looking for is we want all of that wine to evaporate, so there's no liquid left, which is going to be about 3, 4, 5 minutes. So next thing we want to add is some passata. Passata is just sieved tomatoes. You can use tinned tomatoes. What I quite often do is use tinned tomatoes and put them through the xylus and blend them all up. But passata, it's the same sort of thing. It's already been milled and sieved through, so just use passata if you want. So I also like to add a little bit of water to it. So what I quite often do is just pour a little bit of water in the tin or the carton, and we give it a swig around. Just get that last little bit of tomato out. The next ingredient, I'm just going to put some tomato puree in there too. Now I like to just put that in the corner where it's quite liquidy. Just on a tablespoon. And then because it's quite liquidy, we can just mix that up. Okay, and then give it a good mix. So we want to add some basil to this. So we're just going to take a good handful of it. The smaller leaves, more flavour in the small leaves. Next up we need some salt. I'm just going to put half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to add about a tablespoon of sugar. Just give that another good mix. And now we just put the lid on, turn it down as low as it will go, and then we're going to put the lid on and we're going to leave that for about 2 hours. So the whole van is like filled with the smell of this rich ragu. It smells amazing, even though I've got a bit of a cold. It's great. So just every now and then, just give it a little stir, and I've just left the lid slightly off, just so it starts to thicken up a little bit now. But that's been cooking now for about an hour and 45. So now I'm gonna stick some pasta on. I usually make pasta, as you probably well know, but today I'm just gonna go with some rigatoni. I like rigatoni, it's probably one of my favourite pastas. But this is perfect for it's going to be rigatoni pomodoro. So all the tomato will fill up the inside of the little tubes, and yes, it's going to be good. So that's rigatoni. All that sauce will just fill up the inside of it. It's going to be delicious. Love it. Okay, so our rigatoni is al dente. Perfect 9-minute pasta there. And the sauce, honestly I wish you could taste this. It's so tangy and vibrant, really is the right word. It's even bright red, it looks amazing. This is the best vegan ragu I've ever come across, 100%. I'm going to drain all of the pasta. I quite often keep the pasta water, but I don't need that today. So, drain the whole thing. Now, because I want that rigatoni to be filled up with all that sauce, I'm going to actually ladle some of the sauce into the pasta bowl now. And there's plenty there to keep in the fridge for another day. Let's just mix that up. That is awesome. Just a slight drizzle of olive oil in that as well. Tear up some basil in there as well. Perfect. I'm looking forward to this. Buon appetito. Wow. You've got to bet, if you're vegan, you have to make this. Make it anyway, because it's amazing. Completely meat free, delicious.